And he won the 200 IM in lane 3 from Oregon Masters, Michael Ridgway. In lane 5 for Bridget Sound Masters, Ronald Jones. And finishing up, he won men's 200 IM at 351.58 for Ed Reed in lane 4. Coming into the freestyle, Michael Ridgway in lane 3 from Oregon. Let's get him all the way home. Heat 2. Here in Heat 2, the men's 200 IM in lane 1 from Crockmasters Glen Mabel. And lane 2 from Puget Sound Masters, Ronald Portlance. Lane 3, Olympic Club Mike Keck. Lane 4, Richmond Plunge Masters, Ron Taylor. Lane 6, Hawaii Masters, Frederick Rolfing. Lane 7, Wisconsin Masters, Gerald Palmer. And lane 8 from Puget Sound Masters, Bill Galvani. $124.95 for Ron Taylor at the halfway mark. Ron's in lane 4 from the Richmond Plunge Masters. And opening up that 10-second lead is Ron Taylor in lane 4 from the Plunge Masters. .306.86 for Taylor in lane 4. Taylor with that 306.86, followed by Ronald Portland with a 317.50 in lane 2. Heat 3. And we have a full pool in Heat 3. In lane 1 from Puget Sound Masters, Steve Peterson. Lane 2, St. Louis Area Masters, Clay Kohler. Lane 3, Sawtooth Masters, Jim Clemens. Lane 4, Swim Fort Lauderdale, Hubie Kearns. Lane 5, Southern Masters Swimmers, Stephen Heck. Lane 6, MOVY Masters, Robert Wright. Lane 7, Team Texas, is Rick Ravel. And lane 8 is Iowa Masters, Robert White. At the 100 is Hubie Kearns. 125.01 at the halfway mark. He is followed with a 129.67 by Clay Kohler. Hubie Kearns at the final turn, 2:16.81. He's followed by Robert Wright in lane 6, 2:23.96. $258.92 for Kearns in lane 4. Heat 4. Another complete pool here in Heat 4 in lane 1 from North Carolina, Carlos Glender. Lane 2, Connecticut Masters, Miles Aarons. Lane 3, Reston Masters, John Rydstone. Lane 4, Conejo Valley, Richard Scoggins. Lane 5, Sacramento Masters, Jeff Shevlin. Lane 6, Santa Barbara, Jan Simonson. Lane 7, Virginia Masters, Ron Price. And in lane 8 from Costa Rica Tennis Club, Carl Ulloa. Halfway mark now in this Heat 4. It's a 132.42 for Scoggins in lane 4. Tightly grouped right behind him. There's a lot of 140s up on the board. Take a look across the pool in lanes 2, 3, 5, 7, 6, and 7. Breaststrokers tend to come out in the 200 IM in all the IMs. So watch for some moves coming through here in the breaststroke. Richard Scoggins holding on to that lead in lane 4. Making that final turn at 2:30.82. Scoggins into the wall, 3:18.18. 7 seconds back is Jeff Shevlin. And third in this heat, Jan Simonson. Heat 5. And Heat 5 goes off with Arizona Masters Bernard Suave in lane 1. In lane 2, Southern Masters Richard Hartman. Lane 3, New Mexico Masters Bruce Bleekman. Lane 4, Lone Star Masters Tom Wolf. Lane 6, Stanford Masters James Kemp. And lane 8 is Wisconsin Master Carl Milholland. Tom Wolf at the halfway mark, 1:15.75. Tom Wolf having a great swim here. World and national record 2:35.97. Tom Wolf, the 2:42.51. Heat 6. In Heat 6 of the men's 200 IM in Lane 1, John Hugo. Lane 2 is David Hathaway from Oregon Masters. Lane 4 from Puget Sound Masters. Or make that Indy Aquatics, Bruce Young. Lane 5 from North Carolina, Greg Sanchez. Lane 6 from Philadelphia, Robert Kanegeiser. Lane 7 from Palmetto, Michael Slowey. And lane 8 from Sarasota Sharks, Jim Matitek. Again, this is Heat 6. We have 22 heats of the men's 200 IM. Halfway times at a 1:14.34 for Bruce Young from Indy in lane 4. He's followed by Greg Sanchez with a 1:15.19. And we got a tie for third at the moment as we hit the 150 mark. See if the breaststrokers made the move. Still got Bruce Young at 2:02.83. He's now followed by Kanegeiser in lane 6 with a 2:08.32 and a 2:11.61 for Hathaway in lane 2. Great battle for second in this heat, but it's all Bruce Young in lane 4 from Indy Aquatics, and he comes into the wall 2:40.41. Sanchez second, 2:44.25, and Hathaway in third, 2:48.50. Heat 7. And here in Heat 7, in lane 1, we've got Brad Payne from Puget Sound Masters. Lane 2 from Ensworth Aquatics, Kevin Davis. Lane 3, Reston Masters, Brian Evans. 4 is Oregon Masters, Christian Tuho. In lane 5, Puget Sound Masters, Ryan Keefe. Lane 6, Puget Sound Masters, Alex Goldstein. And in lane 7 from Club Tribe is Joe Kimball. Joe Kimball out on the wing in lane 7. He's at a 123.54 at the halfway mark of this very closely contested Heat 7 of the 200 IM. Take a look, lanes 7, lane 6, and lane 4. Lane 1's not out of it over here in the breaststroke. But very tightly contested in those 3 lanes. Alex Goldstein with a really nice breaststroke leg. Goldstein makes a turn in 2:17.43. 4/10 behind him is Tuho in lane 4. Coming down to the freestyle here in Heat 7. They can see each other as they come in with 15 meters to go. Legs coming on, coming into the wall. And it is Alex Goldstein in lane 6, 2:56.53. He's followed 2:57.38 by Tuho and a 3:05.17 by Joe Kimball. Great racing in Heat 7. Heat 8. And here we go in Heat 8. In lane 1 from Puget Sound, Robert Freppia. In lane 2 from Palm Beach, Larry Caldwell. Lane 3 from Oregon, Paul Fresnos. In lane 5 from North Carolina's John Moore. Lane 6, Ensworth Patrick Harris. Lane 7 from Costa Rica, Dmitry Gordienko. And in lane 8 from Oregon Masters is Michael Collins. Again, this is Heat 8, men's 200 IM. Halfway mark, Paul Frensos. 118.05. He's followed with a 119.40 from Patrick Harris in lane 6. Third right now with a 120.63 at the halfway mark, Robert Frappia. 50 to go. It's still Francis in lane 4 with a 2:07.98. It's approaching the 15-meter mark. Great battle for second in this heat. Lanes 5 and 6, that's John Moore and Patrick Harris. Francis comes in 2:45.66. But take a look at that 5/100ths separating lanes 5 and 6, John Moore and Patrick Harris. What a great finish. Heat 9. Heat 9, and the pool is full. Every lane. Lane 1, Oregon Masters, Doug Christensen. Lane 2, North Carolina, Thomas Hilgen. Lane 3, Illinois Masters, Jim Tuchler. Lane 4, Oregon Masters, Jerome Fresnos. Lane 5, Rocky Mountain, Ignacio Jimenez. In lane 6, from Côte Saint Luc, is Michael McMurray. Lane 7 from Maitre Contra, Pablo Conde. And in lane 8 from Walnut Creek is Hector Chow. And right now at the halfway mark, that is Jerome Fresnos. The younger of the two Fresnos, trying to go back to back for the family here in the 200 IM. Strong freestyle here from Jerome Fresnos from Oregon Masters. Comes to the wall, 2:23.21. Heat 10. Here in Heat 10, 200 IM for men, lane 1, Lone Star. Brad Harmon, lane 2, Puget Sound. Michael Porter, lane 3 is Mikkel Langner. Lane 4, Puget Sound Masters, Tom Shute. Lane 6, Sawtooth Masters, John Rubaki. Lane 7, Puget Sound, David Scott and Ted Kravitz from Davis Aquatic in lane 8. This is John Rubaki in lane 6 at the 150. He's got just about a 4 or 5 second lead over Tom Shute. In lane 4, good push from lane 2. Michael Porter. Michael Porter trying to catch Tom Shute here. The teammates going in the wall together, but this one's Tom. 233.71 for Rubaki taking this one from Sawtooth in lane 6. Followed by Tom Shute, 245. Heat 11. Heat 11 goes like this in lane 1 from Palm Beach, David LeClaire. Lane 2, Fort Lauderdale's Neil Williams. Lane 3, Legends, Andy Krupa. Lane 4, Swim Kentucky, Abraham Solano. Lane 5, North Carolina's Morton Anderson. Lane 6, North Carolina's Chuck Graff. Lane 7, Michigan, Matthew Wooch. In lane 8, Puget Sound Masters, John Scott. That's Solano at the first turn with a 32-31 split. Good racing coming into the halfway mark of this Heat 11 of the men's 200 IM. Right now, that Abraham Solano in the wall at 109.56 halfway. Tightly contested second and third. We got 0.4 of a second separating Krupa and Anderson. Solano trying to open it up here in the breaststroke, and the field is tightening up behind him. .150.81 at the final turn for Solano in lane 4. It's now Solano, Anderson in lane 5, and Graff in lane 6. Heat 11, wall to wall is Abraham Solana with a 225.74. Heat 12. Here in Heat 12, Lane 1, Puget Sound, Robert Ward. 2, Club Tribe, John Rockwell. 3, Keith Hill from Oregon. Lane 4, Oregon's Kevin Doherty. Lane 5, Oregon's Kurt Grote. Lane 6 is MOVY. Tony Rezek. Lane 7, Puget Sound, Jin Yamamoto. And in lane 8 from Slow Seahawks, Nathan White. Less than a second separating the top 3. That's Kevin Doherty in lane 4 with a 107.37. Kurt Grote right behind him at 107.69 and a 108.23. Middle of the pool, the teammates from Oregon going after each other. Okay, if you're looking for those relay cards, they are at the table right next to the lifeguard stand right here by the announcer's table. The relay cards are on the table there next to the lifeguard stand, holding up in yellow. Kevin Doherty opens it up in the second half of the race with a 221.91. He's followed by Keith Hill. Or make that Kurt Grote with a 217.36, excuse me. Doherty second with 221.91 and Keith Hill at 225.63. Heat 13. Heat 13 shows lane 1, different strokes, Sandy Blumberg. Lane 2, Puget Sound Masters, Lee Graber. Lane 3, YMCA's George Qualley. Lane 4, Terrapin Masters, Jeffrey Strahota. Lane 5, San Diego, Vadim Weinbrand. Lane 6, Oregon, David Kilburn. And lane 7, New Braunfels, Chad Salas. Heat 13, here in the 200 IM, we have 22 heats of this men's 200 IM. Halfway mark looking good for David Kilburn in lane 6 from Oregon with a 1:14.45. He's got a 3-second lead over Strahota and Quali. Everything tightening up a bit here in the breaststroke. Remember, you can keep them going. They can hear you when their heads are up. Weinberg with a good breaststroke. He's at 2:03.24 with 50 to go. Coming into the flags in lane 5. Vadim Weinbrand with a 2:44.72, followed by Jeffrey Strahota and David Kilburn. Heat 14. Take a look at this race coming into the halfway mark. The Heat 14. Right in the middle of the pool. 108.72 for Blake Holden. And 2/100ths separating Ian Cameron and Peter Trams. Filling out the pool in lane 1 is Alec Bibikow from Cavalier in lane 1. David Popkos in lane 2. Lane 6 is Barry Garland. Lane 7 is McGregor Snow and Eric Bean in lane 8. Blake Holden opening it up in the breaststroke. 1:48.33. He's now got about a 4-second lead. This is Blake Holden. 2:22.32. Peter Trams with a good freestyle. 2:27.26. And Ian Cameron coming in 2:30.42 to close out Heat 14. This is Heat 15. And here in Heat 15 in lane 3, Joe Walker from UC 36. In lane 4 from Spokane, Travis Rothway. And lane 5 from UC 28, Grant Messick. Halfway mark 1:19.71 is the time for Travis Rothway. He is followed by Joe Walker and Grant Messick. Three swimmers here in Heat 15. We'll see if it tightens up going into the freestyles with 50 to go. .207.49. It's Travis Rothway in lane 4. Can Joe Walker press him going into the wall? Rothway trying to hold on to it. Extends out into the wall at a 250 or 249.52. Heat 16. Here in Heat 16, in lane 2 from YMCA, Cornelius Qualley. Lane 3, Puget Sound, Brendan Lang. Lane 4, Torpedo, Brendan Bezugli. In lane 5, Sonoma Splash, Chris Bust. Lane 6, Michigan. Michigan Queer Aquatics, Andy Fillmore. Lane 7, Rocky Mountain, Brian Burkford. And in lane 8 from Puget Sound Masters, Braden Pence. Alexander Brazili in lane 4 from Torpedo Masters. He's at a 1:03.93. world and national record 208.63. For the 40 to 44 age group. $213.04 for Bazuli. Bazuli followed by Andy Fillmore with a 228.46 and 238.11 for Chris Bost. Heat 17. Heat 17 brings us from Fort Lauderdale, lane 1, is Giovannis Lemisanto. Lane 2 from Big Sky, Kittrick Roads. Lane 3 from Flying Fish Heads, Raza Ali. Lane 4 from UC 13, Alex Rance. UC 32 is Andrew Vogel. Lane 6, Lone Star Masters, William Duong, and Lane 7, Reston Masters, Andrew Coons. Halfway mark now, Alex Rance, 112.41. He's followed by a 115.97 from Coons in lane 7. Alex Rance with a 234.70, finishing out Heat 17, followed by Andrew Coons and Raza Ali. Heat 18. And just a reminder, relay cards are on the table next to the announcer's table, which is by the lifeguard stand over here on this side of the pool. Relay cards on the lane 8 side on the table next to the lifeguard. And here in Heat 18, lane 1 from Rocky Mountain, Tim Stumbaugh. Lane 2, Puget Sound, Eric Peterson. Lane 3, Puget Sound, Yahweh Howe. Lane 4, Tri-Valley Aquatics, Brandon Fisher. Lane 5, Dogwood, Kevin D. Lane 6, South Dakota, James McLean. Lane 7, UC 38, Kenny Chang. And lane 8 from Puget Sound Masters, Adam Torrey. Brandon Fisher in the middle of the pool in lane 4 with a 101.62. Followed by lane 5, 105.38 for Kevin D. $2:09.81 is the time for Brandon Fisher from Tri-Valley Aquatics in lane 4. Heat 19. Heat 19 in lane 1 from UC 36, Liam Sosinski. Lane 2, Nova Aquatics, Eric Shee. Lane 3, Puget Sound, Jacob Deans. Lane 4, Rocky Mountain, Travis Greenwald. Lane 5, Patriot Masters, Arthur Conover. Lane 6, Puget Sound, Victor Schau. In lane 7, Flying Fish, Wynn Kirchner. And in lane 8, Heartland Swim, that's Anton Tran. Halfway mark. That's really close there. 105.38 to 105.84. Right now, Greenwald with a slight lead over Sosinski in lane 1. What a great finish here. 2:19.79 for Greenwald Sosinski. 2:20.10. Heat 20. And here we go in Heat 20 of the men's 200 IM. Everybody ranging in their 20s. In lane 1 from Puget Sound Masters, Eric Aspinelli. Lane 2, Association Nacion Masters, Esteban Hernandez. Lane 3, Puget Sound, Logan Wintermute. Lane 4, Rocky Mountain Jack Scufuri. Lane 5 from UC38, Jason Liu. Lane 6 from Puget Sound, Ricardo Cita. Lane 7 from UC36, Robert Prince. And in lane 8 from Puget Sound, Pratyus Iyer. This is Heat 20 of the men's 200 IM. Halfway mark out here on the wing in lane 8, 107.79 from Pratyus Iyer. He's followed at a 109.21 by Jason Liu in lane 5. Liu with a great breaststroke in lane 5. He touches the 150 mark. Jason Liu, 231.67, is followed by Hernandez in lane 2, 235.39. Heat 21. Heat 21 out of 22 heats in lane 1. South Davis, Spencer Curley. Lane 2, Illinois, Will Zhao. Lane 3, Puget Sound, Byron Rossmiller. Lane 4, Francisco Felix. Also from Puget Sound, lane 5, Adrian Josabel. In lane 6 from Oregon, Tanner Montegriff Peck. In lane 7, Nova Aquatics, Martin Wu. And in lane 8 from Nickel City Splash Swim Team, James Pokernowski. Spencer Curley, 106.35 at the halfway mark, out in lane 1. Followed by lane 3, that's Byron Rossmiller. Into the wall, that's lane 2. 2:23.59 for Will Zhao. He's followed by Chasabel and Rossmiller. Heat 22, our final heat of the men. Here in the final heat of the men's 200 IM. In lane 1, Connecticut Masters, Lewis Quinn II. Lane 2, Rose Bowl, Hazem Abdelati. In lane 3, from Oregon State, Luke Cornwall Arquette. Lane 4, from UC 37, Micah Rasabi. Lane 5, from Blue Wave, Samuel Drager. Lane 6, from Puget Sound, Ian Franklin. Lane 7 from Spartans, Peyton Burson. And in lane 8 from Wisconsin, Reed Pazuski. Final heat closing out the men's 200 IM. 101.90 for Sam Drager at the halfway mark. He's followed by Cornwell Arquette with a 106.43. And right in between them is Michael Rasavi with a 107.04. Drager trying to open up that lead in the breaststroke. What's keeping you moist? 2:17.88 for Sam Drager. Followed by Cornwell Arquette. The 2:18.49. Our next event is 26. It's the women's 200 IM. This is heat 1 of